Hi there, I'm Sari Kimball. I am the creator of Food Business Success. I help dreamers just like you who have an amazing product inside your home kitchen and you are ready to take it to the market. You're ready to start a business. Whether you make delicious cookies, amazing salsa, seasoning blends, granolas, kombucha, coffee, hot sauce, the options are endless and you guys are so creative and I can help you with all of it. I'm here to show you how. That is what this YouTube channel is all about. And while you're here, I would love if you could subscribe to this channel by clicking the red button below. Also leave a comment and like this video. I'm so glad you're here to listen to this week's podcast. Let's go.
Hey there. Welcome back to the podcast. Really excited to have this group on here and excited to have you with us and be a part of the conversation. If you are listening on the podcast app, I want you to know that you can also go check us out on YouTube. We are on video, on camera, so you can meet all of these amazing individuals I'm going to talk to today. So today's podcast is about bringing together this powerhouse, what I consider a powerhouse of knowledge in the CPG industry to help you successfully launch your brand, whether it's into wholesale or in the online space. And so I wanted to invite the three guests on, and we are going to talk about ways that you can be more successful in each of their areas, their zones of genius. And then we are going to talk about an amazing package that we are putting together, and it might just speak to you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce each of the guests and welcome them on. And then we are going to get into some questions and just really dig into this. So first, I will introduce someone who I have known the longest for sure on here, Christopher McLaughlin. And did I say that right, Christopher?
Yeah.
Okay. I should know.
It's a squirrely last name. Yeah.
All right. Christopher McLaughlin is the owner and lead designer at Tenfold. He is a graphic designer, has a graphic design firm that helps CPG brands connect with their customers and sell more products through compelling packaging.
Yeah.
So welcome, Christopher.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. And a little bit of fun fact trivia. Christopher and I actually went to high school together. so when I say I've known him the longest, it really has been a long time.
Yes. Yep.
And he was actually the artist on our Spilled Ink newspaper, which is
school
super
newspaper.
fun.
Yep.
And I was on the paper as well. So we've been actually working together, collaborating for a long time. We fell out of touch, but then a couple of years ago, you found me and reached out and we reconnected, and we do a lot of work with lots of brands. If you're on YouTube, you can see products behind me, and Christopher's done a number of these products. So he's an amazing designer. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, on with the show. Okay, probably we'll go with the person I've known the second longest is David Bisek. And David is the founder of Food Rise Marketing. It's a brand and marketing consultancy that works directly with founders of packaged food brands. David develops brand strategy and marketing tactics to connect packaged food brands with the people that matter most to their business. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Sarah. Glad to be here.
And David and I used to both work for Whole Foods Market. We were both marketing team leaders, the heads of our respective stores, David in Wichita and me in Fort Collins. But yeah, so we go back a little ways and connected a couple of years ago as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. It was good to reconnect after our time at the store and things we've moved on to.
Yeah, it was so super fun to be like, oh, you're doing packaged food too. That's awesome.
What a coincidence. Yes.
So all these are, you always want to like keep great relationships with people because you never know how they're going to show back up in your world. All right. And then welcoming Anna Bradshaw. And Anna and I did a podcast. We met last year. We did a podcast together about connecting with your customer. Anna is a copywriter and content strategist specializing in website copy and email marketing for independent CPG brands. She loves marketing strategy so much that it's not just her job, it's her hobby too. You'll likely catch her spending her weekends with a book in hand and a notebook open beside her. Anna's approach combines data-driven research with a proven copywriting process to create rich and flavorful brand messages. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. And remind me again, you are in North Carolina?
North Carolina, yes.
Yeah. So we got people, we're all over. We got, we have Mountain Time, Central Time, and Eastern Time, right? So that's super fun. I love that we have technology, right? That allows us to connect all over the US. So I want to dive in first to just talking about how individually you each work with your CPG clients. So what is the value that you offer to them? How do you help them be successful? So I'm going to start with you, Christopher. We'll just kind of go in the order I introduced you here.
Yeah.
So Christopher, what do you see as the real value? And I love to refer to it as like your zone of genius, right? Like, this is what you are really good at.
Yeah, well, so I've been designing for 20 years, but I've been working exclusively with CPG clients for about 10. And one of the things that I've noticed and that I've seen is that when you first start to work with those CPG clients, they're just getting their ideas going. They're building this product. They're building a brand. And sometimes that they struggle with getting that brand out of their brain and kind of out into the world. And so that's kind of where my piece of this comes into it is diving into their world, diving into what they're thinking, what they envision for this product, and then translating that into the logo, the packaging, how it factors into sales materials, the website, all these different things. And so I get kind of the fun part of this where I get to be the one that helps them bring this thing that's in their head into the world.
Yeah. There's just, you and I get on a lot of calls together and we work with a lot of clients, and there's just nothing more fun than when you do the reveal and you give them some concepts and it's just like, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
Yeah. And you see that excitement, you see this thing that they've been, churning around in their head for years sometimes. And it starts to become a real thing. And that's a fun part of the process to be a part of. And so,
that visual piece is so fun.
Yeah.
I always say that's
absolutely.
like the fun, sexy part. And then I work with them on like their cost of goods sold and their license.
Yeah, but there's a lot of overlap there too, where we're looking at who their customer is, we're looking at their target market, and we're trying to connect the two, and we're trying to bring the two together in a way that really makes sense and that tells their story, and that other people can get excited about it.
Yeah, 100%. What are some of, and actually I'll ask each of you these, and I didn't prep you with this question, so sorry, Christopher, but what are like one or two of your most favorite projects that you're just like, I know
one of them is right behind you. It's over on that shelf there. The Better Than Provisions. It's a granola company. They had 3 different SKUs in their lineup, and it's a husband-wife team. They've been dreaming of this for years. They've been building these ideas. And, just in the last year, we were able to, develop their packaging, get their product line set up, get their production set up. And, they're like out in the world selling things now. And I talked to her a couple of weeks ago. She's been showing it to some salespeople at different chains across the US, really, and they're all super excited, and so she's excited. And, I think that's for all of us, I think that's probably the best part of this is seeing that come together.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a great example because she has so much confidence. They both have so much confidence in the product, and it's given them this whole new level of,
and that's a great thing too, is like, it is a great product. Like when you're working with a truly great product, it's pretty easy to build a brand around that and get other people excited because it's genuinely a great thing. And
but taking it onto a grocery store shelf, they're once removed. They can't tell everybody about the product at the grocery store. So their packaging is really doing it for them, which is so cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right, David, what is your zone of genius? How do you help people in the CPG world?
Yeah, so the folks that I talk to, typically founders, they're early on in their stage. Either they're getting ready to launch, or maybe they've been in market for a little while and they're having some challenges. My process is really customized. I don't put anybody through a specific process where we do A, B, and C all the time. I really spend a lot of time digging in and asking lots of questions, trying to really understand the situation, where they're at, what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and help them dive into their brand story. And a lot of founders have not spent time figuring these kind of things out. So we'll talk about brand story, their why, look at consumer insights. That's something I love to bring into the mix, is what is happening in the market right now? What are the consumer trends that we're seeing that might help shape the marketing of this brand? We'll look at unique ways to connect with consumers. And that's something I really enjoy bringing to the table, is that collaborative process with the founder. I'm coming at it with fresh eyes. I can help identify opportunities, maybe areas that we need to tweak or adjust, and maybe find new markets that they can go into, new places that they can connect with that consumer. And I think, to Christopher's point a minute ago, we all work so closely with founders, and I think we take some ownership too, and we really kind of take to heart that brand and that founder's story. That, gosh, when they're successful, I think it just it means a ton to me, and I'm sure for all of you guys, the chance to get to work so closely. And that's such a different picture than people that are working with large food companies, right? You don't have a big chance to make a big impact, whereas we do. And I think that brings a ton of joy to my life, the work that I get to do.
Yeah, amazing. And what are some of what's one success story that you're just super proud of that you could share with us?
Yeah, without going into a specific brand, I'm working right now with a founder, and she's really early on, but was struggling to find, she's in the market in a specific region, but struggling to find ways to connect with consumers and get out there. And so we just spent some time brainstorming on I'd call them guerrilla marketing tactics. What are some things that we can do to get her product out? She can't really sample in stores. So we came up with some new ideas to get the product out in front of consumers. And gosh, she took that to heart and has been out there showing her product and getting it into customers' mouths in her community. And that's been super rewarding to see.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Thanks, David. All right, Anna, on to you. What do you bring so much as well to CPG brands? So tell me about your zone of genius.
Yeah, so similar to what Christopher said about bringing a client's vision for their brand to life in the form of beautiful design, I help them bring their vision to life through the text and the copy. So I'm writing copy for websites and email marketing, and sometimes the packaging as well. And it's all about, David and Christopher has said, it's about figuring out what the right place in the market is and what customers need to hear, and then finding the balance between what customers need to hear from you and what you want to share with the world and what you want to share with your customers through your brand voice and your brand values. So it starts with assessing the market and looking at your customer data, if that's available yet. And then from there, we build copy that has your brand voice, but it's also optimized for conversion. So built on conversion copywriting frameworks and patterns to help not just tell an interesting story or a cool story, but one that's really compelling and engaging for your customers.
Yeah. So cool. And I love going and looking at some of the work you've done because it's amazing the difference having a copywriter can make. I sort of help, but I am not a great copywriter. I mean, I take the work I've done at Whole Foods and working with brands, but I just think, oh gosh, like having a professional, there's no comparison. So Anna, what's a brand or a project that you're really proud of that you've worked on?
Yeah, well, I love getting to work for brands where the founder is very involved and has created a truly wonderful product. It makes the job easier and really rewarding. And so Beauty Bar Chocolate is an example of one brand I love. The founder, Candace, creates these gorgeous dark chocolate bars with no sugar added, but they have really cool adaptogenic ingredients. So, and beautiful packaging and like a really cool brand around it. So that's one that's been really fun. I got to work a bit with Josie of Josie's Best Gluten Free. If anyone's looking for a gluten-free pancake mix that actually is easy to work with and tastes good, that's definitely one. Super fun to work with. And then I just started actually with one of the brands that's been mentioned here, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you to work with them. April and Earl get a nice little shout out today. They'll be so excited.
The granola is so good.
It is. All right. So yeah, I love it. I mean, I work with all of you guys in different capacities, and it's so fun to be able to collaborate and bring your specialty. You know, I tend to think of I guess I'll answer the question for myself. So I think of myself as like the big project manager. I definitely have a specialty, a zone of genius around kind of that fundamental setup, the manufacturing, the cost of goods sold. I always want to help people set up for future profitability. You know, you might not get there in year one, but we want to have a path to profitability. And then certainly helping them with their go-to-market strategies. And we've become quite the experts on Shopify over in my world, with my business manager, Dina, and I really learning that space. So we feel like, really a lot of work on the setup and the foundations of creating a profitable business, and then using your different services to help really uplift that, and then create that amazing go-to-market strategy and have that great website and some of those pieces that, each of you bring your specialty, but then we have to fit those up, make sure we have the whole package, right? The whether it be a sell sheet or how to talk to buyers or going to a farmer's market, what are some of the best practices there, or going on Amazon or e-commerce. So I would say those are some of my areas of zone of genius, but I'm a really good project manager. I know David and I both used to do events at Whole Foods, and I don't do events anymore because they're so stressful, but man, I was dang good at them. All the pieces together. So I want to talk a little bit about, we've all been in this industry for a number of years and seen a lot of successes, but also seen places where you're like, it's kind of heartbreaking. You're like, oh, you got one piece of this, but you didn't follow through with the other pieces of the puzzle. And I know budgets can be tight sometimes and you have to pick and choose, but I'd love to just talk a little bit about, where's some areas where you see brands kind of go wrong, I guess, for lack of a better term, or that there's some missed opportunities there that set them up for a more challenging launch or a more challenging growth plan. So Anna, actually, I'll start with you. What are some examples? We won't name names here, but sort of the pitfalls that you've seen.
Yeah, well, there's a few things. I think one is not being clear on the overall brand strategy. So if you don't have someone like David on your team who's really helping you think through the big picture, it can be tricky to build copy without that firm foundation. So that's one. Another is investing really well in one area of your brand, like copy, but then trying not to invest in the other areas like design. So a few years back, I worked with someone who had a really wonderful, high quality handmade product. And we created fantastic copy that was really conversion optimized and also in their brand voice. It matched the brand vision perfectly. And then when it came time to hire a designer, they went with a friend who is maybe more of a developer than a designer. And the end result was a little heartbreaking because it didn't match the overall brand vision. And not only was it aesthetically off, but honestly, it kind of took away from the credibility. It looked so like, ooh, has the site been updated? Is it live? I don't know if I should give my credit card over this
Right.
site.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to remember, is like design and copy isn't just about creating a design that, or a brand that is, you know, cute and clever. It's about really adding credibility to your business too.
Yeah. I love that. I'm sure there'll be a theme, but like, it's like people they invest in one area and then they like hire their uncle or their sister-in-law or, you know, to try to save money, go on the cheap. So that can be really challenging. And I get it, but it's sad when those things don't line up. So, David, what about you? Where have you seen, I mean, you've worked with a number of brands in lots of areas around CPG. Where have you seen some pitfalls?
Well, to the point you just made, absolutely. I mean, that's a big one. I think that, you know, founders are probably typically at the beginning doing all their marketing and they realize, oh, I need someone to take care of my email for me, or I need someone to take care of my social media for me. That's a big one. And so, like you said, they'll hire maybe someone they know, which not necessarily a bad thing, but it could be someone they know or someone they found online just to fill this period, take this away, you know, take this off of me. I don't want to deal with it. You handle it. And that's a potential pitfall, right? If that person they're hiring doesn't have a consumer mindset, a marketing mindset, who doesn't maybe understand the strategy, if there is a strategy for your brand. So that's a big one that I see, right? And the opportunity that hiring the wrong person to do a job, there's a huge opportunity and a huge risk there, right? That person could totally ruin your online reputation or could totally ruin other aspects of your business that then you have to go back and try to fix. So that's a huge risk there. You know, another one in the marketing world, so is chasing after the latest hot marketing tactic, whether it's a social media platform, something that you see other brands doing. Just because others are doing it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right thing for your brand. It may not be the right time, and it might not be the right marketing tactic for your consumer. So again, going back to building a foundation of strategy, understanding your customer, your consumer is, what does your brand stand for, your values, all those kind of things will help guide you into making those decisions. So, you know, I encourage founders not to make rash, quick decisions about bringing in other people to do work for them unless they really have a good understanding of marketing, of the brand, of CPG, those kind of things.
Yeah, that's so good. I mean, I would say that's probably one of the number one things I hear from people is like, I just want to hire out my social media.
Yeah.
You know, there's two camps. Either people love it and they're really, really good at it. And I can think of a couple of client examples that they're so good at it and they should be doing it. And I get it. Like you have to wear all the hats at the beginning. But I really do think, just like with sales, I think you need to do your own social media and at least get adequate at it, like understand it and apply your brand strategy and not just like throw spaghetti at the wall all the time and be like, oh, everybody's on TikTok, I should go join TikTok. And then I should be on it, you know, oh, it's reels and all it's these things. And it's like, I do think it's probably better to go deep, choose one strategy, go all in, get good at it, and then find somebody to hire out if it's something that you're just really like, this is not my strength. But you got to understand each piece of your business. And I think sales and social media are the two things I see people want to just like get away
right away. Well, and if they started by they're producing this food product and that's their love is making that food product, they're not professional marketers. They're, you know, they're maybe not sales. So you have to learn these other aspects of your business. And to your point, I think going deep and having a good understanding of these various aspects of your business, social media, sales, that's going to help you when you are ready to pass that on to someone else, because you're going to understand, are they performing? Are they doing what you need done?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that just hand it off blindly. I've seen that, and they waste a lot of money. I'd rather you spend a little bit of money learning from somebody really great, like yourself, or, I mean, I even can help people, but, take some courses, like get some proficiency in Canva or how to use the different mediums, but then you actually know what you're spending money on, and if that person that is actually delivering value. So that's great. Yeah. Yep. Great one. All right, Christopher, what about you? Where, they invest in amazing design, and then.
Yeah, well, I think that you guys have hit on a lot of things that I've seen. Another thing that I come across is not investing in design in such a way that it really expresses your vision. So, like we've talked about, hiring friends or hiring relatives to just kind of knock out this one little piece. In the design side of it, you run into the same thing where there's a disconnect between what's this vision you have for this brand that's in your brain and realizing it. And when you work with a designer that just doesn't get you, that becomes so apparent because your label is awful. and it matters, and you can see it right away when you see it. And, so I think not working with someone that gets your brand, whether it's copywriting or design or strategy or anything, if they don't get your brand, then it's never going to connect. And I think that's something that I see a lot, where they work with a designer who didn't take the time to really find out who they are or who their customers are.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just designing for something pretty, right? Or
right. Exactly. And there's a lot of designers that can make pretty labels, but they may not be strategically driven design decisions. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What are the most important aspects of your brand? Where, the call outs, the things that make you defensively unique, and you're not calling those things out correctly. And then, of course, I come in and I'm like, it's not FDA compliant.
Right. Yeah. Then there's that component, then our industry is so specific. Like, there are very specific requirements that the labels need to adhere to. And a lot of designers don't know that. They don't know that there's some special things you need to be able to do and be aware of when you're designing for going onto a store shelf. And so I'm sure you run into that a lot, where nutrition panels aren't up to snuff, and UPC codes don't scan because they're not big enough. Or
we worked with that gal, Mariam, right?
Yeah.
Mariam. Yeah. That, like, she had done the design herself, and then had a friend do them, and then the UPCs were
right. So she has all this product. It's gone out to stores, and they can't do anything with it. They can't sell it, and
And then she had to go pay money to go get the barcodes and then stick them on individually. And
right. Yeah.
Not ideal. Yeah. Oh. And I would say, for me, to answer that question, I would say it is the foundations of your brand. I think a lot of people want to start with what you guys do, right? Like I said, it's the fun, marketing stuff. That's like the visual and the words and the story, and that's all great. But I love it. I love doing that stuff because it does build passion and excitement, and you want to keep going. But you cannot ignore the fact that you are FDA regulated as this kind of product, that you have food safety that needs to be in place. I've seen brands get caught with that and have to pull all their products. So you can have like beautiful packaging, but if you have to pull it off the shelf because of non-compliance, that's really sad, right? I don't want to see that at all. And just some of those legal pieces, even your website, you have certain obligations. Like, people think it's just my label, but if you're making claims, your website also has to back that up, and you have there are certain things that you need on there to be legal. And so we've gotten really good at making sure with my team that websites are not only beautiful and have all the great photos and the great copy, but also that they're compliant. Because unfortunately, we do live in a world, I don't like operating out of fear, but we do live in a world where, there are shark attorneys going after small brands that are trying to just get a quick settlement. And those stories are always really heartbreaking to me. So that is an area I don't want to see people, do all this other investment and all the pretty things, but don't spend time. And then also don't have a plan for profitability, right? Like you can invest, like these are investments. You guys were all investments in their business. But if we don't have a plan and we don't understand our cost of goods sold and we don't have a plan for scaling up and larger manufacturing to get the efficiencies to be profitable, then really you've just invested in a hobby. You never want to see that, right? An expensive hobby. A fun hobby, a delicious hobby, but a hobby nonetheless. Yeah. Awesome. So I think we've set it up well here, like talking about each of your areas. I really wanted people to get to know you a little bit better and what you bring to the table. And then obviously those pitfalls that we see where we see just like, oh, it's so close, but it falls short in certain areas. Actually a while ago, Christopher, you and I were talking about this kind of like super fast design process where we could use both of our skills to like turn out this, quick, but valuable brand design process. And then David and Christopher, we were all talking and I was like, what about, if we created this package because, and then we brought in Anna because I was like, well, the thing we're missing is copywriting. So I brought together all of you guys and really my purpose, and I think all of our purposes is that we see the pieces where people slow down, where they're like doing so great in one area, but then these other pieces, these other balls get dropped and it's harder to launch. It's harder to launch with confidence that you have all of the pieces in place. And so I really was like, how can we put together this amazing team that knows all of their, that are experts and geniuses in your respective areas. And let's put together a package that's going to be this like amazing one and done. We've talked about 0 to 60, a VIP package that really gives a brand owner everything they need to launch. With the exclusion, we said not the manufacturing. So we want somebody who's like, has their product dialed in. They know they're self-manufacturing, they know, or they're going to go into a co-packer, but then you need all of these other pieces. So the four of us got together and we have put together the most amazing package. Like we've written it down and I just look at that document and I'm like, holy cow, that is everything. So we put together a package that is branding, logo, pricing strategy, brand story, copywriting for your emails and your website, Shopify website, both the back end and the front end setup, some lifestyle photos as well as product photos, a sell sheet with some sales training, setting up your email marketing tools, and just so much more in there. So those are just some of the things. It really is just a huge package. And our goal is to over deliver and provide so much value to you as a brand owner that you're just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much I got out of this package and working with all four of us, and something that you're really confident to put out in the world. So that's kind of the overview of the package that we've put together. So I'd love for each of you guys to speak about kind of what you see the benefits of the package, why you want to be a part of this, like just share some of the benefits or the results that that you feel like a brand owner is going to get from working with the four of us as a team? So David, what do you want to start?
Sure. The initial things that I'm thinking about is we're all independent consultants, and we work with brands individually in our respective focus areas. But what really I think is cool about this is that founders are going to get work from all of us. They're going to work with all four of us. Not only that, we're going to be collaborating behind the scenes, right? And so we're taking our expertise and we're going to be adding our thoughts into each other's work areas. And I think that combined, the four of us working together, is going to just really elevate the deliverables in this. And as a founder, it's challenging, I know, to go out and try to find people to help you build your brand, right? Whether you're marketing consultants or you want copywriters, design, all that, that takes time to go out and research and try to understand who's good, what have they worked on. This is a really unique opportunity where, you're getting all of our expertise in one complete package. We're consolidating this into is kind of a short a time period as we can to get some excellent results. And I think it's going to be super valuable for these founders that are interested in this.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Anna, what about you? We brought you in sort of, you were the last person we brought in a couple of weeks ago, and I told you about it and you were like, oh my gosh, what do you think about this?
Well, I'm so excited about it. I mean, like you said, Sarah, just looking through the document and everything that's included is kind of a dream package for any founder who's looking to get to market, as soon as possible. And I love that our clients aren't going to have that, oh no, we have this missing puzzle piece moment where you think everything is on track and then you realize, oh wait, we're missing this big chunk and we have to find someone to fill it in. The four of us are going to work together and make sure, clients have everything they need to get going. And I think the timeline is a huge benefit because, as anyone who's done any project knows, timelines can just stretch on and on and on, especially when you have to find one contractor after another, after another, after another. So bringing this all together, like David said, we'll be able to collaborate and really make sure that we all have a great understanding of, your brand vision, your brand goals, and bring it to life without that, like, oh no, we forgot this.
Right.
I think is a huge benefit.
Yeah. Nothing is going to get forgotten for sure. Right. We are going to make sure that even if we left something out, we're going to make sure we pick it up and it'll be in the next time, but we will do it for you guys. Make sure you have everything. So, I didn't even mention the timeline, but our goal is 6 to 8 weeks that you have all of those pieces in place, which is insane because if you were working with each of us individually, you'd each have to everybody'd have to fit into our timelines and it's kind of like, well, I need this before I can start this. And it can really become a long process. But I think with all of us working together, we can streamline this a lot to produce results in a really short amount of time. So Christopher, hopefully I didn't take away your thunder.
I was actually thinking just that. It's like, the timeline really is significant because there's so much excitement on the front end. When you're starting to see things come together and you're starting to see all the pieces come together, being able to do that quickly is really critical because you capture that excitement and you get out into the market quickly, which is, it really makes a big difference in terms of momentum and getting things going. So I think, you guys, this list of deliverables is really amazing. And so I had a very similar experience. It's like, this is awesome. So I love that some of these companies are going to get set up and off and running quickly. Like that's really exhilarating for me. So
yeah, I know it's going to be so fun. And Christopher, tell them where they can go because you set up the website, so you'll make sure to say it correctly. But tell them where they can go to find out the list and how to work with us.
Yeah. So the name, this program that we're putting together is called CPG VIP. So CPG, very important person, because you get the royal treatment. And you can go to cpgvip.net, and we have the website set up there. There's a form, really quick form that you fill out just to let us know who you are. And we will be in touch with you from there.
Yeah. Yeah. So cpgvip.net. We'll put the link in the show notes as well. And of course, you can, hopefully you've gotten to know us here on this podcast, but we'll put the links for everybody's websites for us individually, so you can go and check out what we do and our work. But again, instead of like hiring one person that's in CPG, but then hiring, a random designer that doesn't know packaging or, that just isn't in this industry. Same with copywriting or your brand story and all of those pieces that you bring around consumer insights. Like when you're starting with somebody who doesn't know this industry, they have a learning curve, and like, we're already all in it, and us, and we're vetted. Like we have tons of success stories. So, last week's podcast was all about sales, and I talked about that formula of sales equals connection plus certainty. And I know from my experience of doing this for 6 years that I have so much certainty in this product, and I'm so excited. And hopefully we've been able to connect with you here today on this podcast or on the YouTube channel. And I will just say that this is not a cheap product. This is a valuable product. So it is going to be an investment. It won't be for everyone, and that's okay. All of us work with developing your brand story, and we all probably all say, like, you can't be everything to everyone, right? And so we have to take our own advice here. But it is a very affordable investment. We are bringing so much value to the table. And like I said, our goal is to over deliver and just make sure like you have everything you need. And I think it's going to make a huge difference in your confidence when you go and launch into the world. And whether that's, I think that the right person for this is that they're really serious about getting their product out there quickly. They want to go into wholesale or e-commerce, Amazon. And maybe they're just launching, or you've been at the farmer's market for a while and now you want to up level and you really are like, okay, I've proven the concept. Let's go. Right. That's who I see our target customers are. But yeah, this will be an investment, but it'll be one that I don't think, I've seen other agency prices, and you're going to get like, you'd pay 2 times, 3 times the amount to work with a big fancy agency. So I'm really proud of what we put together here. It's going to be really great. So does anybody want to have a closing remark on that before we wrap up here?
I'll add too, to your point, you mentioned agency, and I work with agencies too. And so, and a lot of times when you hire an agency, you will work with other people in the company, maybe who didn't even sell you the business. We are all going to work directly with you. So understand, it's all 4 of us working with you as the founder. So, you're going to work one-on-one with us. We've already calendared out the entire process, so you don't need to worry about, okay, now what do I do next? We're going to walk you through this entire process so that you have all these amazing deliverables at the end.
Yeah, 100%. So good. Anyone else have anything you want to say lastly about working with this and working with each other? I'm super excited to work with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's a fantastic group, and I'm really excited to start working with clients in this new format. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Christopher, you excited? I know this was kind of your brainchild in a way.
Having all these pieces together is going to be awesome to see it come together like this. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what we've decided is we're going to take 3 clients at the current rate, and you guys can be whoever wants to join us in this for 2021 or moving into the new year. We will keep the price the same. You will, to some extent, be our beta testing. But actually, I think that's a really good thing because we're going to want to over deliver and make sure you are just wowed in the process. And then who knows, the price probably will go up after that. So if you are thinking like, this might be for me. I am that person. I have my manufacturing worked out. I am ready to go. I'm really serious about my business. I want to capitalize on the time and launch quickly and launch correctly, legally. All those things that you definitely got to go check out the website cpgvip.net and then just fill out the application, let us know, and we will be kind of streamlining, screening that, and then you'll set up a call with me and we'll see if it's a good fit. So I invite you to do that. All right, you guys, I really appreciate your time today. This has been really fun hearing about each of your zones of genius and what you bring, and each of you are so passionate about what you do. So thank you for being here and sharing with us today. And I hope you guys all have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.